Alright, Shalom, Shalom. All praises to Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Recha, Kodash. Double honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone GMS who rule well and who teach well, and salutations to the elect. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. So, in the news, Bible prophecy unfolding. Alright. As you can see, I've got this article from rt.com, and this was put up on the 6th of November 2025, Thursday the 6th of November 2025. Alright, so it's of course a very recent, fresh article. And the headline says, NATO chief urges West to prepare for long-term confrontation with Russia. Alright, Moscow, the capital of Russia, will remain a threat to the bloc even after the Ukraine conflict ends, Mark Rutte has claimed. Alright, I believe it's the Ukraine that's using, American weapons as well. Alright, but they're still being demolished by Russia. Okay. So let's read on. NATO member states must boost military production to be ready for a prolonged standoff with Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea, which are challenging the global rules, the bloc's Secretary General Mark Rutte has said, speaking to Western defense contractors as the NATO Industry Forum in Bucharest, Romania on Thursday. Rutte told the bloc's arms makers that there is more cash on the table and even more will flow amid NATO's rearmament push. Alright. So, we're not in a time of peace, we're in a time of war. Moscow has rejected claims it harbors any aggressive intentions towards the US-led military bloc, saying such allegations are being used by politicians in the US and EU to scare the populations and justify huge increases in military spending. Russia also believes that NATO's deepening involvement in Ukraine was instrumental in escalating the conflict in 2022. Alright. Before we go further, let's go to the book of the prophet Joel, chapter 3, start at verse 9. Alright. And it reads, proclaim you this among the Gentiles, the heathens. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all you heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Alright, so the heathen, the non-Israelite nations, are basically going to fight one another, right? Alright, and it's going to escalate, of course, when World War III pops off, when it goes fully nuclear, over there in the so-called Middle East, the Levant. Alright, these various kings of these various nations are being, stirred up for war, okay? And we're hearing of wars and rumors of wars as well. Yeah. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 16, and verse 12. And it reads, and the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. Okay. We know that the Carmanians, which are the Persians, the Iranians, right? And also alongside them, the Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs, will fight America. Okay. The Persians will link up themselves with Gog, which is modern day Russia. Alright, and Turkey will be out there as well. And Turkey is a member of the NATO. Turkey is a member of NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Alright, it has one of the largest militaries within NATO. Right, and it has control of the Bosporus and the Dardanelles, which are vital waterways for naval access. Okay, so that plays an important role. Plus, it has a strategic geographic location between Europe, the so-called Middle East, and the Black Sea as well. All right, and Turkey's been in NATO since 1952. All right, and NATO at the end of the day will turn and fight against Babylon, America. Okay. And I'll put the link to this article in the description box underneath as well. Rutte labelled the fighting between Moscow and Kiev a threat to the bloc, and he claimed that the danger posed by Russia will not end when this war does. For the foreseeable future, Russia will remain a destabilizing force in Europe and the world. Ultimately, Yahushua is going to put down all rule once and for all. Okay. But this is interesting, man, and we're excited in the spirit to see this. So yeah, this is gonna happen in our lifetime, man. Not no 20 years from now, 30 years from now, rubbish like that. No, it's gonna happen in our lifetime. We are the final generation. Okay, and it's good to go to RT News. These different alternative sites, man. Okay, instead of the mainstream media all the time. It says, and Russia is not alone in its efforts to undermine the global rules. As you know, it is working with China, with North Korea, with Iran and others. They are increasing their defense industrial collaboration to unprecedented levels. They are preparing for long-term confrontation, the Secretary General said. Okay. He noted that the pledge by NATO members to hike military spending to 5% of GDP by 2035, but claimed that cash alone cannot provide security. We need the capabilities, we need the equipment, real firepower, and of course, the most advanced technology. This would require the bloc's defense industry increasing production and shortening delivery times, Rutte stressed. Okay. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria reacted to Rutte's comments by asking him to clarify what global rules he was talking about and published their open quote full list end quote on NATO's website. Yeah, so it's interesting, man. This is great. All right. So yeah, the Second World was past and the Third World cometh quickly. After World War II, the world, has pretty much been gearing up to go nuclear. Okay. Remember, America becomes 250 years old next year in 2026. All right, July the 4th, 2026, to be precise. The Declaration of Independence was signed on July the 4th, 1776. So next year, July 4th, will be the 250th anniversary, or the semi-quinticentennial or quarter millennial. Excuse me. Okay. And anyway, as a rough average, empires typically last around 250 years. Okay. Some a bit longer. Yeah. Like, you had the Mughal Empire, for instance, that lasted 331 years, which effectively, ended after the Indian Rebellion of 1857 when the British deposed the last emperor, Bahadur Shah II, or Zafar, right, and took direct control of India. Okay. But yeah, man, we see the Lord working. All right, he's stirring up the minds of these kings. All right. Let's go from there to the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 13. Start at the top. All right, and it reads, "The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see, lift you up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles." All right, America's that high mountain that we Israelites are lifting up the banner in. Mountains represent, big, large governments in the scriptures, and hills represent smaller ones. We're telling these leaders of the so-called free world what the end is going to be, right? Because China's not going to rule next. Okay, they believe they are. Scripture talks about the pride of Moab. Okay. But yeah, man, hey, people are watching and listening to their prophets, right? They're watching and listening to us. Even ChatGPT knows about the Hebrew Israelites, and of course the nobility of E as well. Okay. Verse 3, "I've commanded my sanctified ones, I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness." Right, the angels and the elect whom have the Holy Spirit. Verse 4, "The noise of a multitude in the mountains like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord Yahweh, Bahasham Yahshai of hosts, the Lord of armies, mustereth the host of the battle." Yeah, because the Lord is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. Okay. Verse 5, "They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Ha'adawan Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land." Alright? So, hey, they ain't gonna come together for peace. Nah, it's for war. Alright? They're bringing them nuclear weapons, man. Intercontinental ballistic missiles, hypersonic missiles, cruise missiles, the whole nine, everything. Alright? Yeah. They ain't just building these for fun, or to just keep them in a place locked up and never to be used. All that time, energy, money spent invested into that, and they're just keeping it there for fun. Nah. It's going to be action and fireworks soon. Alright, Joel 3 and 10 again. "Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong." right? Yeah, basically focus more on your military prowess, your military might, rather than investing into agricultural means, in your agricultural instruments, all right? Okay. Verse 11, assemble yourselves and come, all you heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones, the angels, to come down. O Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai. Okay. And you got the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. Right, he's beating his chest. North Korea could never do that decades and decades and decades ago like that. Talk against America like that, man. Okay. Plus they got Russia as an ally. Okay. Yeah. That's the host that the Lord is mustering for the war. All right. Okay. Got many things going on, distractions as well. Grand Theft Auto 6, off topic, but it's delayed until November 2026. So a year from now, pretty much exactly. All right. Fired Earth closes all UK stores. Air India plane crash. You got the Grammy nominations this year. Distractions. Air traffic controllers warn of tipping point as US government shuts down, drags on. Oh yeah, at least 10 injured after driver shouting Allahu Akbar rams into crowds in tourist hotspot. Alright, many things are going on, man. Okay. So yeah. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 24. We can just end it there. Psalms chapter 24 and verse 8, and it reads, who is this King of glory? The Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, strong and mighty. The Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, mighty in battle. Okay, so this is the Lord movie. This is his movie. He's playing chess. And Yahushai will gain the victory. Okay, facts. Alright. So, with that, I'm going to say, Kal Halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodash. Lord willing, this was edifying and uplifting. Okay, and very informative. Alright. I'm going to say, Mawathle Babal, and Shalom to the elect.